fresh as ink.
We only have a couple pieces, so we can quickly tell you about all of it.
Yeah, I'll go through real quick. We've both pretty much been to like the same dude, except for like that one of yours. But Khalil Rinty at Tattoo City in San Francisco. This is the newest one he started on me. I pretty much, after getting this arm done, this was my first one. It was pretty intense. I found a piece by a guy named Kuniyoshi, really famous like wood block dude from Japan, 1860s. I decided instead of going like ultra traditional art, I would let him kind of create everything, and I would just kind of give him a few things I wanted, which was the Oni skull that we use actually for our album, the Ibaraki skull, and I just kind of gave him a couple ideas of like I really wanted some different patterns, I wanted the waves, I wanted like the clouds, and just kind of go for it, be creative. And I really love how it's turned out so far. I still got a little bit more to go, but he's super awesome. He's like, I found him through Matt, and Matt can explain his.
Yeah. I have 4 tattoos. This piece is based off an original by Kitagawa Utamaro from like the 1700s. It's called The Ascending Dragon. What I liked about it a lot is we just released our record Ascendancy. Kitagawa Utamaro was traditionally just known for geisha paintings, and I'd never seen him do a dragon piece. So I looked up a studio for years, I've been looking up studios for years and artists for years, and finally I found a guy named Brian Bruno out of Tattoo City. I sent him a description of Utamaro's piece, and I said, I want your rendition. So he made this, he did this, this was my first tattoo. Shortly after, Brian Bruno left Tattoo City, and his spot was replaced by a guy named Khalil Rinty, who's also a Japanese specialist tattoo artist. With Khalil, I found a piece by Yoshitoshi, which is another classical Japanese painter, and it was the piece of Watanabe no Tsuna, the samurai, battling the demon Ibaraki at Rashomon Gate. In this story, Watanabe no Tsuna chops off the demon's arm, demon flees. Years later, an old woman asks to see the arm, and it turns back on the demon and runs away forever. And that was the inspiration behind our Trivium mascot, Ibaraki, the skull of the demon from the Japanese folklore that no one had ever seen again. So Khalil did this piece. Khalil finished the Brian Bruno piece up my arm. My back, I've recently started, I think I've done like 6 or 7 sessions on it. It's Yamato no Orochi versus Susanoo. Susanoo was like this war god who was cast from heaven, and he had to fight this 8-headed serpent in the sea. It's a really big piece. It goes from like my neck down to here. And then the 4th thing I have is in Japanese enso, which is a symbol for perfection, imperfection, completion, and incompletion. And it's like a Buddhist meditation to draw an enso every single day. So that's what this is. Probably because I posted several pictures of my ass, probably the one on my back. Like I just uncensored picture of my ass with my back, that one. Gets the most likes on Instagram of all my pictures.
I guess probably the newest one, just because the skull is visible from so far away. And if you're a Trivium fan, you probably picked up on that it's the same skull from Silence in the Snow and some of the new stuff on the record. I only got these 2, and I love them both. So
I only have 4. I like them all.
Yeah, I waited till I was like a little bit older to get a tattoo. I wanted to make sure I was like definitely sure I wanted it, that I knew what I wanted, I could visualize it, and that was a wise move.
I love when they have the T or Ibaraki. I think that's great. It's like the branding symbol. I definitely want to get Ibaraki someday, somehow, and the T. Or both.
We've seen so many. Yeah. I mean, you go on Instagram, it's like.
You've seen my face on a lot of kids. You've seen the Ascendancy Beast.
Yeah.
You've seen all sorts of stuff. In Waves Rock. We've seen the Crusade guy. I love it all, but I think there's something really extra cool with the T and the Demon Ibaraki. Man, I always just say, I hope I never let you down.